in interesting times. This week's stories. Church of Christ members commemorate the birth anniversary of beloved messenger, Brother Felix Y. Manalo. Oral cancer survivors, dental professionals, and families run for awareness. Green vehicles in spotlight at Calgary International Auto and Truck Show. Plus, EBC New Jersey and Pennsylvania bureaus strengthen the network's North America team. Hello everyone, I'm Alan Basoyahe bringing you stories from around the globe. And this is Eagle News Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition. May 10 is a significant date for Church of Christ members. Why? Here's the answer.
May 10 is a very significant date for us members of the Church of Christ because we are commemorating the birthday of the one whom we recognize as God's messenger in these last days in the person of Brother Felix Y. Manalo. He played a very important role in this church to which we belong, the Church of Christ or the Iglesia ni Cristo. Well, as God's messenger, he was instrumental in preaching the true words of God written in the Holy Scriptures. And as a result of that, the true nation of God, Church of Christ, emerged in the Philippines in 1914. And this is the same church that reached the far west on July 27, 1968 as a fulfillment of another prophecy of God written in the Holy Scriptures. And we are glad that through God's help and guidance, this church is now global, can now be found in more than 150 countries all over the world. The entire church or all members of the Church of Christ are remembering the works, labors, and sacrifices of God's messenger in these last days. And at the same time, we are also reminded to put into practice the teachings of God He taught to the entire church, because this is the best way to fully secure our salvation. And in addition to that, we continue to uphold the important works He started, like the works in the field of edification and also in the work of propagation. We need to edify all members of the Church of Christ, especially during these tough times, to strengthen them so that even in the midst of trials and difficulties, they will remain true and faithful members of the Church of Christ. And in the field of propagation, we follow the lead of our executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, in intensifying our effort to propagate the true gospel, because we firmly believe, as attested to by God's words written in the Holy Scriptures, that this is already God's last word of salvation.
What I admire about Brother Felix Y. Manalo is his work ethic of spreading the gospel, and it reached so many people.
Knowing how much he labored for the church and how much persecutions he had to endure, he serves as an inspiration for me to remain strong and fight for my faith no matter what trials and tribulations I face in life. I admire his strong faith and perseverance. He fought for his faith, persevered, and with God's help, he was able to reestablish the church as prophesied in the Bible. And all of us are witnesses on how God's prophecies still continue to be fulfilled.
For me, Brother Felix Manalo provided a way for us to understand the truth. So without him, we would have not known about the true church, and so we're very grateful about his contribution to our faith.
The way I will commemorate Brother Felix Manalo's birth anniversary is by teaching the youth here in the church what he did to spread the words of God and how they too can be like Brother Felix in propagating the words of God to everyone around us.
Personally, I commemorate Brother Felix Manalo's birthday by inviting my co-workers, my friends to attend our Bible missions.
And to commemorate his birthday, to remember him, is to share my faith to the whole wide world, because it's the least I can do.
And to commemorate him on his birth anniversary on May 10 is to help people all the more know of the words of God that he preached.
Brother Felix Y. Manalo for me is an inspiration, not only for me but for all the members of the Iglesia ni Cristo in these last days.
And he is a role model for each and every one of us. And he is also a great leader and inspiration to every members inside the Holy Church by sharing our faith to non-members and being united with the church administration.
I would say his selflessness, because he put the needs of the brethren in terms of their spiritual well-being before his own, and it's really reflected that he had a genuine concern about how they were doing spiritually, and to me that really stood out.
I commemorate his birth anniversary by participating in propagational activities of the church, such as sharing our faith.
Wala siyang tigil dahil ang natatandaan ko walang humpay ang kanyang, katulad din ng ka Eduardo na walang humpay ang pagpapalaganap ng salita ng Diyos kung saan-saan po.
He never gave up his faith. He held on to God's promises.
To me, Felix Y. Manalo will be a great role model. He inspires other people in different ways.
I'm going to participate, propagate, invite my friends and my relatives so that they can also know the teaching, true teaching, directly from the Bible.
In commemorating Brother Felix Y. Manalo, our God's messenger in these last days, we will be having an evangelical mission, and I'm planning to invite people and my friends, especially my colleague, in that event.
Nung dinodoktrinahan, isa po yan sa tanong ko, sino pa si kapatid na Felix Manalo? So hanggang sa natutunan ko po mga aral, napakahalaga po pala niya. Dahil kung hindi po sa kanya, hindi po magsisimula ang iglesia sa mga huling araw. So ganun po ang kaimportante ang kapatid na Felix Manalo sa akin.
Brother Felix Y. Manalo came from humble beginnings, in which he was able to use his determination and motivation in keeping up with his purpose and his intention for his church. And because of this mission, he was able to push forward despite the many persecutions that came his way. As a result of this, he served as an inspiration for those people who continue to work and continue his mission.
It's a wonderful anniversary every year because it sort of reinforces my belief in the Church of Christ, its teachings, its doctrines, and every time that month and that day comes around, it reminds me of how wonderful it is to belong to the genuine and one true church. There is no other. And without the work of Brother Felix Manalo, we wouldn't be here. It strengthens me every time even more. And it reminds me really how wonderful and how fortunate I am and my family that we are members of the Church of Christ.
Brother Felix Y. Manalo to me is the perfect example of a true member of the Church of Christ. He's a constant reminder that as a member of the true church that we should always be active, we should always follow God's teachings, and always be mindful that we have to be obedient unto the commandments of our Almighty God.
Coming up, oral cancer survivors, dental professionals, and families run for awareness. Green vehicles in spotlight at Calgary International Auto and Truck Show. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. You are watching Eagle News, Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition. Information is key. Survivors, their families, and dental professionals agree that oral cancer awareness saves lives. In an effort to raise awareness, the Oral Cancer Foundation held a walk and run event in Maryland. Eliza Gonzalez-Manglikmot with the details.
Moved by a desire to raise oral cancer awareness and garner support, the crowd behind me will run, some will walk 5 kilometers alongside survivors, family, and friends this Saturday morning here at the Dennis Sligo Avenue Park in Silver Spring, Maryland.
I am here because my friend Veronica told me about the 5K, about oral cancer awareness, and as a hygienist that we are, I think it's very important for our patients to let them know how to go and do the intraoral exam maybe themselves, and then we do that in our offices too, and let them know if we see anything that is suspicious and make them aware. There are patients that smoke or chew tobacco and stuff like that, and they're not aware of how dangerous it can be in their mouth.
We can help the patient if we can see something suspicious. So I decided to do this. It's the first time for me. I'm also a dental hygienist invited by them, and I thought it would be a good idea, one, to donate the money for a cause that doesn't seem to be out there. Most people are not aware that oral cancer can be on the rise just from the consequences of secondhand smoking, chewing tobacco, and so forth. But yeah, so I thought it'd be nice to come out, support it, not just donate money.
It's about to start.
Okay.
It supports early detection and awareness about oral cancer, screenings for the dental community to get patients screened often and diagnose the issue early. We want to make sure that people are aware of the disease, and if they see something that is suspect in their oral cavity, to have it checked out early and make sure that they get treatment early, and therefore they don't have any long-standing issues like my husband did, unfortunately. My husband was diagnosed in 1997 as a stage 4 oral cancer patient. It had metastasized to his lymph nodes in his neck, and that's how he found it. The primary tumor was on his tonsil, so if anybody had been looking for it at the time, it would have been very visible in the oral cavity. Unfortunately, his dentist did not see it. I think anything that you can do to bring awareness for the disease is key. So we do upwards of 30 of these events a year around the country. This is just one, and the Hoffman family started this particular walk 5 years ago, and this is just another year on top of that, taken over by someone else to keep the disease on everybody's forefront.
Just raise awareness, I guess, for something I didn't know about until it happened to someone so young, so it's kind of shocking
So I think it's a good cause.
Well, I'm a dedicated runner, I guess, first and foremost, but I also relate to the cause because I've had oral cancer. So I was diagnosed with stage 3 oral cancer. I'm fully recovered and in good health now. And I think any event like this that has a name to it, I think raises awareness. I think raising awareness any way you can, and I think this is a great way to do that.
The most important part is education and prevention. Early awareness, early detection, that's how lives are saved.
Reporting from the DMV Oral Cancer Walk and Run here in Silver Spring, Maryland, I am Eliza Gonzalez Manglikmot for Eagle News, 1 with 25.
Thanks, Eliza. Now, let's head over to Canada, where Eagle News correspondent Kara Kabusao takes us to the Calgary International Auto and Truck Show. Let's find out which car or truck took the spotlight. Kara.
Are you a fan of supercars from the action movies? Or maybe a car enthusiast who wants to see the vehicles of the future? Join me as we look on the different trends in the world of automobiles here in the Calgary International Auto and Truck Show.
The latest and greatest in the automotive industry are in Calgary for this year's International Auto and Truck Show. From the biggest trucks to the newest in hybrid and electric tech, this show has it all.
Well, the Calgary Auto Show is going on, so it's displaying all the new cars. That's from a bunch of different retailers like Acura, all the way from luxury brands like BMW to like Hyundai. So every car on the spectrum is being displayed.
Hot rods from the past and top tuners also make an appearance in this year's show alongside the best in aftermarket parts as Calgary kicks off the second International Auto Show in Canada this year. Calgary is home to one of the largest truck markets in the country, and not surprisingly, they stand out among other cars here in the show. Various automakers such as Ford, Chrysler, and GM show off their trucks with the best features. Small turbocharged engines and high gear transmissions are some of the technologies that trucks have acquired as they strive to improve the fuel efficiency to combat the rising gas prices in Canada this year.
The cars here are like very high tech now, which makes me excited to drive in the next couple of years.
Also in the show are the cars of the future, hybrid and electric vehicles. As one of the leading countries in green technology, Canada hopes to increase the adoption of green vehicles to comply with the Paris Agreement. Market leaders such as Tesla and Nissan continue to show their dominance in leading automakers in higher mileage and efficiency of electric vehicles. Finally, supercars. They need no introduction as they are the greatest achievements of automotive engineering. The display of these sleek cars are viewed by many people as they marvel at the beauty of supercars and stories of how fast they can go. These include Ferrari and Bugatti, the fastest car in the world. From practicality to luxury and speed, Calgary's International Auto and Truck Show has something for everyone.
From Calgary, Alberta, Canada, I am Kara Kabusao, 1 with 25.
Thanks, Kara. When we come back, EBC New Jersey and Pennsylvania bureaus strengthen the network's North America team. Eagle News, Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition will return shortly. This is Eagle News, Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition. I'm Alan Basoyahe. Eagle Broadcasting Corporation added correspondents to its New Jersey and Pennsylvania bureaus, strengthening its growing North America team. Correspondents from New Jersey and Pennsylvania cities talk strategy on how to deliver more information to the public through sharing what they see in their communities. The team said asking the public how they feel about the issues affecting their neighborhoods is one way to have their voices heard. Citing World Press Freedom Day, EBC Bureau Chiefs Carlo Valdez of the Garden State and Myla Simbulan of the Keystone State agree that strengthening their teams by adding more correspondents to gather information is key to reaching more people in these parts of the country. And reaching more individuals means opportunities to help more communities. That is today's Eagle News Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition. Join us again next week for stories from our bureaus across the nation and around the globe. Visit our websites at Eaglenews.PH and EagleNewsLive.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Twitter.com/EagleNewsPH. Thank you for watching. I'm Alan Basoyahe. I am one with 25.